Hey everybody, mediocre cover band guitar guy. How we all doing? I know when I said I was going to slow things down a little bit, maybe take a break or whatever. I said I'd come back if I got any new gear or anything I wanted to show off. And such a thing happened yesterday. Primarily when I played a Strat as my main guitar years ago, I always had a regular Ibanez Tube Screamer, TS9. Wasn't fancy. It was I bought it in I bought it in like 1998. And I had it on my board until, I would say, 2008. So for about a decade, it was my main drive, and through Fender Twin, and it worked. It did everything I needed to do when I was gigging and whatever. And then when I started playing humbucking guitars, and then I switched amps, I went to a PV Classic. The amp came with a pretty good sound and drive channel. I didn't rely on pedals as much, and then when I went to the Vox, I just found that the TS9 wasn't working anymore, so I shook it. Then I had a blues driver on my board for years, man. Jesus, that was like the holy grail for me for the longest while. And I had this MXR Badass overdrive, and that was my sound. And then eventually I got rid of that. And I got an OCD because I watched a Don Felder rig run down. I was like, I need an OCD, so I got one. And then after a while, I kind of got tired of that, and ever since I put the Nobles on my board, like I've been loving that. But I went and got a J-Rocket, the Icon, the Archer, and that was my go-to drive for the longest time. But I just started getting tired of the sound, and it was a little bit inconsistent sometimes for me. Still a great pedal, but I put it up for sale. I got considerably less than what I feel I should have gotten, but I had something in mind that I wanted to buy. So we've got a local builder of pedals here. His name is Mark Bennett. He owns a company called Bennett Custom Audio. And he doesn't know I'm doing this video, and I hope it's not offensive to have your products associated with a channel that's mediocre as this one. But in the grand scheme of things, I got this pedal yesterday, and it's a take on the Tube Screamer with the Keeley mod, the 808, whatever. So I went and bought it, and often, like, first and foremost, Mark was so easy to deal with, very responsive on Facebook. You can either pick up, or he will send you your product if you pay for shipping. It's like an extra 15 bucks, and he'll ship it anywhere island-wide. And I'm sure if you were to pay, extra, he would send it wherever. He's also doing a take now on the Klon clones, and I can only imagine how good they are. So anyway, I'm going to do a little opening. I've already played this. I played the intro with this pedal. And as soon as I plugged it in, I liked it. Right out of the gate, as soon as, I didn't change anything up on the amp. I just put it right on the board, plugged this in straight to it, and I hit that E chord, and I was like, fuck, that sounds great already. But I was impressed, packaging. Okay? Because he makes these himself. This is not factory, reproduced. He only does so many of certain pedals, and then after a while they're done. And I've missed out on so many great pedals, and I regretted it. When I seen these guys come out at Marketplace, I said, I can't miss out on this. So I sold my Rocket. Sure, I'll probably regret it down the road, but this was great. It came in this, and then even more impressive, it reminded me of Crown Royal. It comes in a little bag and everything. So I thought, wow, you know, you're not really sparing anything there. It's very professional. And this is the pedal. I got it to kind of match the Strat, and because a viewer said I had too many pink guitars, because I got the pink Kramer as well. And the other thing I like about it is it adds a little bit of color, because you got the Phase 90, and you know, you got the red drop pedal, you got the green Nobles, whatever, and you know, the yellow compressor. So my board looks like a coloring book. It came with that, you know. Then it came with paperwork, of course, as most pedals do. It came with a really cool guitar pick, which I won't use, because I collect picks, we all know that. And it came with some paperwork that I can't get out of the box. Holy shit. I put all this back in here just to do the whole reveal, right? And now it's biting me in the ass. Here we go. So it came with all the paperwork and the usual things, and hand signed by Mark. I'm just going to lay that there, you guys don't need to read the warranty and stuff. Came with a little sticker that I'm probably going to put on something. But this is what I loved, and it's so simple. The little rubber feet that you get on the bottom of your pedals, he didn't put them on there. Okay, so you don't have to pull them off. The bottom, the Velcro to your board. Believe it or not, that was the most impressive thing about the packaging for me. It's not hard to remove them, but it leaves the gunk on the pedal if you go to resell it. I'm hoping that I never do, because I really like the sound of this thing. Okay, enough of that today. Product placement. And Mark, I apologize that you were associated with this channel, but I just, for the 1,200 people that watch these things sometimes, wanted to know how great this pedal was. It's the best pedal a lot of people probably never heard of, because most of my channel is watched by Americans, by people from the USA, and welcome. Who remembers a video I did years ago called Know Your Role? Nobody, right? Well, I did a video on musicians knowing the role, and I just wanted to give a shout out. I went to a Chris Stapleton tribute last night by a gentleman named Randy Matthews, and I only have 2 words to describe it: holy and shit. It was probably as close to getting to a Chris Stapleton concert as you're going to get. And everybody knows I'm a Chris Stapleton fan. I think he's in fabulous everything. But if there was ever a a tribute that did justice to something, it was unreal. This guy matched the vocal chops. Like, I was shocked. I knew the guy could sing because I heard him sing before. I've heard him, you know, dozens of times, like through various gigs and things like that. He's done like green sleeves everywhere and online. And fabulous singer, but like, he even grew his beard out and, you know, dressed and looked. He didn't have long hair, which is cool in one sense, because, you know, if he put on a wig, it would have looked a bit campy. But wow, like, and the group of musicians he had were great, and they all served the music. Like, it was great. And this is where I'm going with Know Your Role on this one, is that he had a guitar player in the band, and the guy's name is Chris Feener. Chris is phenomenal. Chris is as old as long as I've been playing is how old Chris is, and I can't even say he's 100 times the guitar player I'll ever be, because that doesn't even come close. He's just amazing. He's such a great player. Anyway, Chris is hired to do a lot of these shows, and he plays the leads. He's like a hired lead hand for all of this stuff. He's just fucking phenomenal. He nails everything note for note. Just such a great player. But last night, Randy Matthews, who did the whole Chris Stapleton thing, he did all the leads, pretty much. Chris went over and played rhythm for most of the night, played a lot of acoustic. Even though he was capable of smoking the guitar, he didn't. He stayed in his lane, and it looked like he was enjoying the shit out of it. Maybe it was. Maybe there was no pressure gig for such a great player to go. All I got to do is go and listen to some great music and play. I don't know. I didn't talk to him. I don't even know Chris, so I'm only surmising. But like, I walked out with a lot of respect, because he did such an amazing job giving Randy what he needed for support musically, the same as everybody else in the rhythm section. No ego. Just went up and did his job. And as did everybody else. And it was great to see. And it's, you know, they all made the show what it was. And I'm going to tell you, it was a show. And if anybody watching this ever gets a chance to see it, see Randy Matthews doing Chris Stapleton Tribute, you need to go if you're a Chris Stapleton fan, because like I said, it's as close as you're going to get to seeing Chris Stapleton. I was blown away. Like I even had a hard time going to sleep like last night. I was fucking wired after I came home. But enough of that. Let's go on to my other topic. And this is something that I'm seeing on YouTube a lot with big creators right now who, ever since this Giacomo thing came out and put these guys on my radar, and I'm not mentioning names because I don't do that. It's like the whole Randy Matthews thing. I didn't include any links to any video that was taken because I didn't take any, because I'm trying to go back to the old days where I just go to a show and enjoy it. And that's me. That's not saying if you do that, some people want to remember it and some people want to have it just as a reminder of how great it was. I'm just trying to be old school about it, and I'm sure I could have found lots of footage to show because there's a lot of it kicking around. But I thought maybe they don't want to have their musicianship attached to a YouTube channel, especially one that has the word mediocre in the name of it, right? When it was such a spectacular show. So that's where I went with that. But anyway, something that I've been in this rabbit hole of watching a lot of videos ever since this Giacomo thing came out, and a lot of bigger creators got put on my radar, are picking on smaller channels. And one guy in particular, once again, not mentioning names or links, but one guy in particular, his channel was small up until a while ago, and now it's one of the biggest channels on YouTube. And he does a segment where he, or at least at some point in his channel, picks on a smaller channel that's not perfect, that doesn't have perfect editing, it doesn't have perfect playing. You know, I can only imagine if I was on his radar what he would say about me. And that really sucks. And the only reason you do that is because, you know, you want views. And I feel like this is probably a part of it, because when you start picking on people publicly, it's like putting, you know, a bit of blood in shark-infested waters. It's going to bring other people around to laugh at it and get a kick out of it and whatever. And you really know how that makes somebody else feel when you're doing that. It's bullying is what it is, right? And I don't understand that logic. And my plea to everybody out there is that if you see that going on, don't subscribe to the channel. Like, YouTube is a big enough platform for everybody. If somebody's got a small channel where they're not getting a lot of views and they're not getting a lot of, subscribers and things, it's not affecting your channel. Why do you need to pick on that channel to get your own views? If your content is good enough, it should speak for itself. The proof is in that alone, right? And I don't make no bones about it. This is not a professional YouTube channel. I'm not a great player. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm not a professional creator. I don't have a team of people editing videos all day long. I'm going to get a cup of coffee and try to crop this as best I can from my Google computer phone there and whatever. But, it goes back to the whole thing about people not being able to be held accountable for their actions. So on that note, I just want to say to everybody, don't subscribe, don't fuel the fire, don't put the gas on the fire, don't put the blood in the, shark-infested waters. Don't give these people the fuel to continue what they're doing. And I'm sure people will, and half dozen people saying, no, I'm not going to watch this, I'm not going to subscribe. It's probably not going to stop these channels from happening. But you're only doing damage to the small guy. And, once as you add it all up, it's the little guys that keep the big guys going, right? It's the same thing with being in a cover band. We're the ones that go out every weekend and help keep music alive for certain artists sometimes. When the radio stops playing it, maybe we're the only ones that you're going to hear it from. So you don't need to go out and pick on people. You don't, pick on someone your own size, right? Go after a channel like Rick Beato's instead of going after some poor guy who's got a small channel and he's playing, Deep Purple tunes. And that's a fact, because that's what one of the videos I watched what he was ripping on. But yeah, just don't tear people down to get views, okay? Anyway, that's the end of my long drawn video. I'm gonna come up for a title for this fucker now, because it's just like a whole bunch of ADHD fucking verbal diarrhea. So guys, love each other, support each other. Support's a big word. Support each other. The music community might seem big, but it's not as big as it used to be. And if you don't support each other, it's going to get smaller. And there's room for everybody, and what's good for you is good for everyone. Keep that in mind. Just if you kill a scene, you're going to kill it for yourself too eventually, right? It's like setting a house on fire and going and sitting in a corner where you can't get out. That's what you're doing to yourself, right? All right. Cheers. Be good to each other. It's Sunday after. You don't have to wait till 5. But here in Newfoundland right now, it's actually beer time. So maybe I'll have a beer instead of a cup of coffee.